So for my senior caption project, I created a website called Moodify, where a user can get song suggestions based on what mood they are currently in and what mood they desire to be. So this is a landing page that a user gets. This is a React app. I created the website using React, and I separated out my client and server side. So this is the client side where the user is presented with a simple landing page where they get an explanation of what the app is, this cool particle graphics that was fun to implement, and two drop-down lists where the user can select the mood. So options are sad, low energy, happy, and if the user wants to feel even sadder, like dancing or mellow, they submit and they get song suggestions and rendered to the website. But since I separated out my client and server side, I first have to run the server, the node app.js, and now if I go to localhost 8, this port, the server is now running, and because Moodify uses Spotify API, I needed to get access to, the user needs to needs to log into the Spotify before accessing Moodify. So I log in with Spotify. Because I'm already logged into Spotify, I'm directly redirected to the website. And now you can see the difference between the client side and now is that I have the access token passed in the URL. So with this access token, I'm able to make GET requests to Spotify API endpoints, and that's how the website runs. So if I select the mood sad and I want to feel even sadder, I get 8 songs suggested to me based that will make me feel even sadder. And any Frank Ocean song definitely gets me in my feels. So for the how I'm able to, so the endpoint that I used to get recommended songs was get recommendations based on seeds, and this endpoint generates song suggestions based on different seed parameters. The query parameters include up to see if I scroll down, we have up to 5 seed artists, which is required, or seed genres or seed tracks. So I decided to use a user's top artist as a parameter for generating recommendations, and I can also use tunable track attributes. And in my application, I use danceability and balance. And balance. So now I can show you how the code looks like. So again, I separated out my folders into client and server folders. In the SRC, we have the app.js file. In the components folder, you have the input form, track, and track list. So the input form is the 2 drop-down lists where the user selects the mood and the mood they want to be in. We have on mood select, on resolution select, and on button submit methods that are passed in as props from the app class. Track is also another functional component whose props include image, ID, name, name of the artist, and an iframe tag that enables me to play the song on the website. And then tracklist enables me to map through the different tracks and set map through the different tracks and pass in search results as a prop. So in the app.js folder, this is where all the magic happens. It's a class-based component with state of mood resolution, search results, and top artist ID. I'm able to get the access token by using query stream to parse out the window.location hash that's passed in when my server asks for authorization to the Spotify server. And then I set the state of the mood to the event target value of the first input, first drop-down list. For the resolution select, again, I mentioned that I'm using two track attributes, balance and danceability. So valence is a measure from 0 to 0.0 to 1.0, describing the musical positiveness conveyed by a track. So tracks with high valence sound more positive, but tracks with low valence sound more negative. So if a user feels wants to feel inventada, I set a low value for the balance and danceability. And if a user feels like dancing, I set high balance and danceability. Um, I set it to high value. Um, and then I set state for the resolution, balance, and danceability. And then because I need top, I use that user top artist as a seed parameter to in the get recommendations API endpoint. So get top artist is an asynchronous function that gets me the top artist using this URL. I pass the access token as a header in the fetch get request. So once I get the top artist, I'm able to search. Again, I need to get the access token and I get the top artist. And then I match, um, I match I pass in the balance and danceability attributes to the URL. And I make the request to the get recommendations API endpoint. And the response that I get, I map it. And I map it to a JSON object where I get the ID, name, artist, album, URI, and image. And then on button submit, I call the search function. And if it goes through, I set the state of the search results, which is passed in as a prop to the track list. The on mood select, on resolution select, and on button submit are methods passed in as props to the input form. So that's how my client runs. My server was just I got code from this API, Spotify Spotify authorization, the code, and it uses implicit flow code to ask for authorization. So this was just code that I cloned from the Spotify GitHub repo, and so that's how it's passed in as the access token is passed from this server to the client, and that's how I was able to implement my senior project. It was a really fun project, and what I learned in this project, since it was a solo project, I was able to learn how to be accountable to myself and get work done. I also learned I had learned React.js through a Udemy course over the summer, so this project pushed me to take off the training wheels and actually implement what I had learned. And then I also got to enjoy the benefits of using agile methodologies such as weekly stand-ups and sprints and several releases that helped me pace out my work. And I learned about the value of persistence because at certain points I was frustrated with my gaps of understanding, including how to ask for how to work with auth, how to fetch um, data from an endpoint. But however, this frustration grew my resilience muscles, which I think is a key skill that any software engineer needs. And generally, it was a fun project to work with. I love music, and I was excited to work with Spotify API. So, yep, that's my senior capstone project.